Hello everyone and welcome to Valgard, Realm of the Vikings here at Paultons Park, opening next year in 2026. Now, we're really excited to be bringing you onto the construction site for a series of updates that we're going to do over the course of the construction. Now, Valgard is our biggest themed area today. It's got a brand new roller coaster, a new family swing ride, the exciting retheme of Cobra turning into Raven, and of course a new restaurant and a playground as well. So loads going on in this area. In this update, we're going to show you a few things that have been happening on site over the past few months, and of course a big update that we've had some track installed for our brand new roller coaster, which of course is the first roller coaster at Paultons Park to go upside down. Now in this update we're going to have a look at a few things that have been happening around the site over the last few months. There's been loads going on. If you visited the park, you'll know that we closed off areas of the park recently to start putting up the buildings, and also a massive update is that some of the track for our brand new roller coaster has arrived, so really excited to show you that as well. So a major milestone in the project was of course closing off the whole area. So as you can see behind me, this was the pathway to Cobra, Edge, Magma, but now this is closed off and we've put this large site fence in so that the construction teams can actually get onto the whole site now and not have the pathway through the middle. This means we can start setting things out and seeing where the theming items are going to go and really get a sense of space within the area. So while it just looks like markings on the ground, it really gives us that plan to work off of, and that's what we're doing at the moment. Behind me you can see Magma has started to be removed, and we do have a crane on site today to take down the main tower. Magma was a big part of the park and opened in 2012 and lots of guests really loved it, but unfortunately rides have to come and go and it was this one's time, but it is making way for something a lot more exciting. Now you may have noticed these large metal sheets driven vertically into the ground. Now these are called sheet piles, and what they do is they drive these large sheets that interlock with each other really deep into the ground, and they create a really strong wall to hold back soil. And what this is doing for us is creating a really nice patio area for our new restaurant. So behind me you can see the concrete foundation for our UK first ride that's going in this area. Now this swing ride will swing up to a height of sort of 12 metres, and it's going to be really fun. Great ride for all the family. So you can see we've got the four holding down bolts set in the concrete here, and then that pit in the middle is where a floor lowers down, which is why we had to create that pit in the middle of the foundation. But yeah, this is starting to progress as well, and we're hoping to see the delivery of this ride in the next few months. So over at Cobra, work has started on its major retheme. So the Cobra vehicles have now been taken off the track and they're back in our workshop area ready for their retheme. They'll have all the vinyls taken off them, the front figureheads taken off them, and then they'll be rewrapped to bring them into the Raven theme. Also, you may notice that some of these track and supports, they've started having primer put on in readiness for the paint to be added to change it to its new colour scheme. So a lot of work going on here, including of course the station building, where one side now has been completely themed and looks fantastic with the timber cladding and the green decor elements. Yeah, it's going to look really cool. A great glow up for this ride. Now behind me you'll see quite a big change to Cobra, or Raven as it's now going to be known. We've taken the mounds of dirt and grass out from underneath the bunny hops. This just creates just a little bit more space for the playground, which is actually going to sit pretty much in this area here. But this playground's going to be so cool. A great place for the young ones to chill out and relax, and for the parents to watch them have fun. So a bit of a different look to Cobra, but actually I really like it. It seems to give the ride a little bit more height, which is quite cool. It's not often that you get to stand inside a ride area like this, but obviously with the ride closed and no vehicles on the track, then it's completely safe. But behind me you can see that it's starting to change colour. Now obviously this isn't the final colour, this is just primer for the paint, and what this does, it creates a nice uniform surface for the paint to adhere to and make sure that it's nice and clean and ready for its new colour. Now let's talk about our brand new roller coaster, Dracon. Now earlier this year, Dracon's foundations were completed, which was a big milestone for the project, and one of the most important parts of a ride is of course its foundations. So these are what we call piled foundations. Now piles are essentially long reinforced concrete columns that are drilled between 10 and 12 metres down into the ground. They act like stilts, transferring the massive loads of the coaster down to solid soil layers deep beneath the surface. For a coaster of this size and this scale, piles are essential. They make sure the track stays perfectly stable and secure, no matter how intense the forces are. And of course, really exciting as we've taken delivery of some pieces of track for Dracon already. Now the ride won't be going up until around November time, but we started taking delivery nice and early. There are lots and lots of lorries that have to come from Germany to deliver all the columns and all the pieces of track for Dracon. So it's good to start nice and early to get everything on site, ready for the build to start. Now you've got the two running rails here and of course the backbone at the back. So these are what the wheels of the ride vehicle sit on as they're going around, and you can see some of the track here, how it's bent, how it's moved and how it's put together is really quite something. Really excited to see this start going vertical in the next few months. Now moving on to Dracon station building. Now this is really coming along. You can see that there's a team in there working on some scaffolding for the inside of the building, and that allows us to get up into the high ceilings and start adding the timber theming and everything that's going to make this into a really cool Viking roller coaster station. And earlier this month, the first pieces of track were installed for Dracon. Now you can sort of see these behind me in the station building. We have covered them over to make sure they don't get damaged by the work that's taking place in there and just to keep them nice and safe. But it was a really exciting day when we saw these go in. The team did a great job installing everything, and now we can start working on the electrical side of the station, putting all the sensors, the motors that move the ride vehicle through the station, and the brake run, which is actually behind me here as well. So a really big milestone for the project, seeing this part of the ride installed into the building. The restaurant, which we're inside now, is one of the most complete buildings on the site so far. You can see a lot of the stud work has been completed on the walls. This allows us to put the theming onto the wall, which is timber, and that will be decorated. Cable trays going in the roof to allow us to run all the infrastructure through the building. On the roof, it looks fantastic with this decoration on, and its top pieces on the apexes look fantastic. It's going to be a cool building, this one. Really excited. Of course, any project needs good infrastructure, and this is exactly what this restaurant gives us. It's a fantastic place for people to sit down and enjoy something to eat. So that's where we are right now with Valgard Realm of the Vikings, opening next year at Paultons Park in May 2026. Dracon's had its first piece of track arriving, Raven started to be rethemed and being painted, the restaurant's really started to take shape, we've got the foundations complete for the build swing, which will arrive in a few months, so loads going on out here, and we're really excited to show you in the next update even more progress on Valgard. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss that one. And let us know in the comments below what you're most excited for at Valgard Realm of the Vikings.